Welcome to Good Morning LaLa. I'm Dr. Erin.
Hi, I'm Rob Mack.
And I'm Jez Moyer. This is Good Morning LaLa Land, America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Now also available on Apple TV and Roku. And that was the Folkos.
Yes.
Hashtag Friday Feels. We've got a full house of amazing artists. So much love. Wow, they're really good. Family, huh?
They are. It feels like Friday, right?
It's definitely Friday. Thank goodness.
Well, thank you all so much for being with us this morning. Good morning, family.
Hi. Good morning.
We're so grateful to have you here in the studio today. Thank you for sharing your time and your talent with us.
Thanks.
So, tell us a little bit about here on Good Morning LaLa Land. I'd like to know how you start your day. What's like your tip to staying motivated? Because, girl, you've got it going on.
I think staying motivated is just about getting in the right mindset. I mean, we are all together. We motivate each other. We're a family unit. We always work together. And so if one of us is down, we got to pick the other one up. So our motivation is each other, getting going each morning and making sure that we do what we need to do and get done what we need to get done.
It is so absolutely inspiring. And I mean, your mom and dad over there, talk about hashtag Friday Feels. You've created an incredible family unit. Hashtag relationship goals all around.
Seriously, right?
Seriously. So I've got to know, Vanessa, what's the secret?
The secret is the coffee machine helps a lot. It really, really does.
Well, this is the hand I shoot with, so be careful.
That's kind of trouble. But no, the secret is just to keep at it and just never give up. That's really what you have. So just keep doing what you do. And we're blessed enough to do it with everybody. So that's the secret.
It takes a great team. You have to have a great team in place or it won't happen. We tried before with people who didn't understand the music, didn't understand the family concept. And now we finally do, which has been a blessing because everything seems to be very clear. And there's a direction, there's a path, there's a vision. So working with people who understand it makes the whole thing worth it.
Well, we have to give a special thanks to Mr. John Ferreter. Thank you for being with us.
Absolutely.
For being such a supporter, bringing you into the Focus TV family. We're excited to hear more of your incredible music throughout the show.
Okay, so can you imagine if you had a band with your family? Like, what would that be like?
It would be non-existent because none of us are that particularly, musically inclined. I've been working on trying to get my family all to move to the same place for like over a decade now, so I don't think the band thing would be.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, my mom plays every instrument.
Yeah.
She plays.
Your mom does?
She plays every instrument, and she skis 7 days a week or does some kind of sport every single. Like she is a physical being here, but she would do amazing in that band.
That's
I don't think the
awesome.
rest of us. I could dance. I could I'd be the tambourine dancer or something like that. But yeah.
Yeah, my family, they can all dance, but nobody, plays an instrument, sings.
Can you dance? Are you called a dancer?
My sister can dance really well. My brother can dance. Like my sister was a choreographer for a little while.
I bet your sister can get it
Yeah.
on.
She doesn't need any drinks. She's just like goes. It's amazing.
My mom tried to do a family Pinterest board. We didn't even make it to the band.
Family Pinterest
Family
board.
Pinterest board. That's about as far as we got in the family band. She quit that.
That's hilarious.
I know.
Oh my gosh, great. Well, we're having Freaky Friday. So Jez texts, because we knew everyone was coming in and all these musicians, and then she goes, remember it's Freaky Friday, like 10 minutes before I leave the house. So I was like, it's terrible. I was in like a totally conservative white jacket, and I was like, I got to get my Freaky Friday on. So I put my like all this black stuff, and I come in and I'm trying to get mic'd, and I don't know how. I've got my pants undone, and Jess like starts thinking, how do I get this up my like bodysuit? And we were cracking up so hard. It was pretty funny.
Well, it's been an interesting morning, but last night it was incredible. I came out of retirement, you guys, and
Gorgeous.
I took the runway. We were at the Autism Speaks Gala at the iconic Beverly Hills Hotel. Rachel McCord was there on the blue carpet last night. WME was involved. NBC, that's gorgeous sister Annalyn McCord. She's been a guest here on the show. She mentioned you, Rob.
Yep, known Annalyn for years. I love the McCord family.
Oh, me too. And we were fortunate enough to be dressed by Jacob. He owns a fashion house called For the Stars Fashion House. It's on Melrose in West Hollywood.
Beautiful.
Yeah, Rick, Rachel's boyfriend. Oh,
Look at that. Beautiful.
Wow.
yeah, it was so incredible. It was a night of like glamour and philanthropy. And Jay Alexander from America's Next Top Model, he hosted the fashion show. I was so nervous. The 15-year-old girl in me was freaking out, but I brought out my top
Look at
model.
you right now. Look at that blue steel.
Welcome to the show,
Is
you
that blue
guys.
steel?
It was so fun. And our very own Victoria Simone was there, associate producer. She looked
Victoria, killing it.
stunning in her gown.
On the runway.
That looks like so much fun.
On the runway. It was a great time. It was just so incredible to be a part of the community who really is giving back to autism. Jeannie Mai was there. I mean, it was so many of the women women in talk. Carissa Collier from E! was there, Entertainment Tonight, Extra. There the McCord sisters are. I mean, they're so absolutely stunning, and they just have some of the biggest hearts in Hollywood. They really, really do. So it was a lot of fun to give back for a cause and, you know, just feel glamorous and have a good time.
It was gorgeous. You looked amazing.
Oh, thank you. I felt like my Beyonce self a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. It was fierce. It was fierce.
Little Jasmine Fierce came out.
I think it's as we know, the model industry and the whole ages and stuff. I think that you should rock this for like forever. I think it's time. I think it's time. I remember my dad having a conversation because I remember as a little girl saying, I want to be a model when I grow up. And my dad going, well, what are you going to do after 25 years old? Because you won't have a career after. He literally said that as a little, because that was what the industry standard was. But today, I'm telling you, Jez, you got to make this happen for the rest of the women out there.
Well, that's part of the reason why I kind of, you know, steered my career away from fashion was because I didn't want to age out, right? And at 24, they were, you know, forging my passport and telling me to lie about my age. And I didn't want to wake up in some country like I was watching my model roommates do in the model house and thinking, I don't know where I'm going to go next, what agency is going to take me next. So I wanted to really take control of my career. But you have a very solid point, Erin. And I think now is the time for us to really embrace our age. There's beauty knows no numbers, and just live our truths, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's unfortunate because as a guy coming into the industry, it was a little different because I was a minority. But as a model, you know, we all knew that as you got older, you made more money as a guy, and there's no reason that shouldn't be true for women as well.
Do you hear that?
Do you hear that?
Say it here.
We want to be what do we say?
Bajillionaires.
Bajillionaires. We decided. We're putting it on our Instagram. It's our new handle for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Well, we had a fantastic show yesterday.
We did. Let's take a look at the rewind. Those old Hollywood glamour pictures with their inspirational quotes, you know, a la Judy Garland or Audrey Hepburn or Marilyn Monroe. And one of my absolute favorite ones was the Marilyn Monroe. Imperfection is beauty, madness is genius, and it's better to be absolutely ridiculous than absolutely boring. You know what? I can embrace that. That inspires me because it really just encompasses the mess that is my pretty hot life right now. But it helps me and inspires me to continue on and embrace that imperfection and that madness, and in that find inspiration. Right.
I did go through all of that in, you know, my 20s and had, you know, all kinds of things I would say happened. But again, it was a different time. So I had to learn from my experience and become, you know, get therapy and become empowered myself and do tons of self-work. So I really tried to change that victim consciousness into something empowering to learn from and to become better and in essence, it was actually what spawned my spiritual path.
The difference there is your body telling you or is your mind telling you? We all know the voice in our head is not our best friend, right? How many times does it tell us negative? It has this negative bias. If it's the one saying like, oh, you don't love this isn't your comfort zone, okay, you should quit that. That's where you should probably stick it out. But if your body is telling you, if you've got acid reflux, anxiety, insomnia, because you're in something that's so out of alignment with who you are, that's when I definitely think that you should be quitting for your health.
That was an incredible show yesterday. Jamie Anderson is like a wildly talented filmmaker. Top 25 artists to watch right now. She just won Best Director at the LA Short Film Fest. And to have her here punching bag and have this like conversation about masculinity and femininity, I was totally inspired.
Right.
Absolutely.
She's definitely an inspirational woman. It's just incredible to watch the women in this town. That's what I love about LA, quite frankly. I love my guy friends, don't get me wrong, but I love my girlfriends here because everyone's up to so much stuff. It's incredible.
Yeah, I think what's profound to me about her and her story is that she's able to sort of communicate really complex ideas and concepts through the medium of film, which is not an easy thing to do. I mean, there's subtlety and there are nuances there that are difficult to express even when you're having a very literal conversation with somebody right in front of you. So to do it through art, I think is just profound.
And she's brought comedy into it. So
right, totally, absolutely.
And Lynn Marie Morsky quitting by design. So I was thinking about this all day yesterday. What am I going to strategically quit in my life?
What'd you decide?
So what did you decide?
I couldn't decide. But I am such
I'm quitting deciding.
I was like, you know what? But what I did decide to quit in thinking about that, literally, you know, driving back and forth from all my events, and I was like, what could I quit? And I think I want to quit the expectation that I have to be perfect in that, because that's something that's followed me around for so long. And I'm showing up to the Beverly Hills Hotel in my dirty 2012 Fiat, and I'm like so embarrassed. I'm parking on the street like, oh my gosh, I hope somebody doesn't see me in this car. Let me break out the Louboutins out of my trunk, and like, who am I? And then that imposter syndrome started kicking in, and I thought, who am I? I'm GMLA. It doesn't matter if I drive up in a dirty Fiat with my Louboutins in my bag, okay? Like, I was meant to be there. And I just need to let go of the expectations of what that looks like in my life. It's a pretty hot mess, and it's time I just embrace it.
I love that, Jez. Yes, preach. Preach.
Right? That's my Friday feel.
Yes, it's
no more coffee, Jez. No more coffee. You're cut off.
Quitting perfectionism.
I think we got a quick commercial today. That's what I'm going to declare. So I think that we should go. We should have the band play through this next commercial break. What do you think?
All right.
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
The dreams don't all come true. I'm stuck in here with you. You'll never change. In spite of everything you do, I'm never gonna wanna be with all of your things, all of your saying, all gonna be okay someday. Life repeats and expect you to wanna stay. It's a give and take, and up and down, you can't keep spinning me round and around. Tell me, is it rolling here, or is it you? She's got so much to say. It's pounding in my brain. She's driving me insane. Love, what does it even mean? Or is it just a scene? She's driving me. In spite of everything I do, she's never gonna wanna be with all of your things, all of your saying, all gonna be okay someday. Life repeats and expect you to wanna stay. If you give and take, it's up and down, you can't keep spinning round and round. Tell me, is it calling here, or is it you? Sitting in the classroom, staring at the wall. You think you're all there, boy, you think you know it all. I'm scribbling your name on the bathroom stall. Call me, the thing that you say and do. All of you saying, it's all gonna be okay someday. Life repeats and expect you to wanna stay. The give and take, and up and down, you can't keep spinning round and round. So tell me, is it calling here, or is it you?
I have a feeling it's you, the every woman.
I
Yes. Sarah Alexandrova, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
You are so gorgeous. I have hair envy. I'm not going to lie right now. I really want your hair.
You gotta
so
cut it.
Gorgeous.
I'll take you to my guy.
It's so liberating.
It is, and this was a part of me deciding to be an every woman. One of the first moves that I made, I cut my hair.
Wow.
Why did you cut your hair?
You know what? I was bored. I was trying to get some new. I was trying to change my life to everything that I always wanted to be, and that was every woman. And it was like a good move because I had black, long hair, and I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna do a dramatic change and just go from there. He didn't want to cut my hair. He was like, go away. I don't want you to come back and cry. I said, well, let me prove you.
Right. Well, when I'm bored, I usually go see a matinee or something. But that is one way of making this exciting. You are very exciting. You are styling people around the globe, right? Lifestyle consultant, doing all budgets. What does that mean? So if someone comes to you and they're like, okay, like I might be a client of yours, just so you know. Like, what does that look like?
So first of all, I get to know them. And I never make anyone feel like they're not there yet. But I asked them if they want to see themselves from a different view because
I would like to see myself just like that.
Yeah.
Because that is so wildly chic and glamorous.
And they just like, I make friends with my clients and make them comfortable, tell them which part of their character I like the most, and we're going to concentrate on that part, and we move from there. You know, confidence is everything.
Everything.
Nowadays.
Have you always been confident?
I can say yes since
Really?
I remember.
Wow.
Yeah, I grew up in a family of many girls, and I was kind of a middle of attention for everything. Every time I was like, oh, why can't you be like her? And I kind of felt uncomfortable at the beginning, but then I said, you know what, I'm just gonna hold on to that and like make everybody's life better, because I have confidence, I have no problems at all.
Yeah.
So in doing that, you created this beautiful platform and you're really marketing yourself as the every woman. How would you define that woman? Who is the every woman?
Mother. Not everybody knows this, but I have 2 beautiful children. And then I am a good daughter. I'm a good friend. I love my friends, and I always try to spend as much time as I can with my friends because they give me motivation, inspiration. You know, I like compliments. Like every woman.
Compliments too. Well, so much of really putting your best foot forward is in what you wear. Whether it's the shoes on your feet or the clothes, that's really half the part.
If you have dirty, oily hair, I'm going to just look at you and think about your hair.
It's true. Like, I don't think that it defines us, but there's something that when you walk in a room and you're really, truly put together, there's something that happens, I think, on all levels, thinking that if they are able to do that with such, you know, with such greatness, that what else can they do with greatness? They're like commands of respect.
It's so true. It engages, from a psychology perspective, engages the confirmation bias. So that's why it's so important to set a really strong first impression, is that our minds don't like to have to make changes. We don't like to change at all. So when you make a good first impression with clothes and the way that you do.
Is that what it is?
It is. It's confirmation bias.
You're like, oh, that's just too much of a fixer-upper.
Yeah. Your mind doesn't like it.
Speaking of impressions, LA is making a great impression in the global fashion industry right now. Let's talk a little bit about that.
You know what? If you asked me 2 years ago, I would probably be very sad. Like, I would make the face. I would even cry about LA's fashion. But nowadays, I mean, I've been so involved, and I was one of the ambassadors for LA Fashion Week 2 years ago. I was invited, and when I said yes, nobody could have believed. They were like, "What? You're actually going to do it?" I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to just sit there and complain. I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to see what they have, what issues. We're going to just fix it. I'll tell them. I know they might not like a lot of judgment, but I'm going to tell them, and I hope one of them will hear me. And you know what? Yes, I love it. Nowadays, like, everybody is trying, and there is effort, first of all, and we're growing, and it's really LA is becoming one of the most cosmopolitan cities, and fashion is the biggest part for building that.
There's great local designers. LA Fashion Week is coming up, October 11th through the 14th. Will you be there?
Probably, if I'm not too busy doing good morning shows.
I love it. Well, you are so beautiful and gorgeous inside out. So proud of you for your children and all the work that you're doing. And you ladies got to stick together. We need some strong women that are not 17 years old in the fashion industry. It's time to rock every age and claim our, you know, the gorgeous women that we already are.
Thank you so much.
Tell people where they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram, Alexandra Vazara. And obviously my website is I'm Every Woman. And I have Facebook, and I don't really have time for maintaining a lot of things. But you know what? I do love stories. I do a lot of stories on Instagram. And this is where I can actually show everybody how fun and beautiful life is.
Well, when she's on Instagram, she's on just about every best dress list in town. So thank you so much.
That too.
We'll see you at Fashion Week. Volkos, take us through this break, baby.
He thinks he's so fine, but he makes me lose my mind. She
is just so much fun. This is so different and so wonderful. So today we're talking about Friday feels, and we got feeling all over the place. So Juliana Zopris, she's an author, a speaker, a singer, pulling it off, which is all about removing your fears and putting on some confidence, right?
That's right.
So tell us about it. How are you? Gorgeous.
So good. Thank you for having me.
I love that you're finally, quote, spilling the tea on your secrets on how you have pulled this off. You're a fashion muse, you're an artist, you're an incredible wife, support. How do you do it? How do you pull it off?
Well, I love a great calendar. I'm obsessed with my calendar. No, but really, people would ask me that all the time, which is why I named the book Pull It Off, because they would say, how can you pull it off? Or I could never pull that off. And I started to flip that question and say to them, well, who's telling you that you can't? And it was so interesting because while I expected, finances or time or family commitment or a myriad of different answers, the answer was always, well, I don't really know actually why I feel like I can't pull this off. And what was amazing to me and so eye-opening to me is that I think that we're all dealing with these insecurities and fears that really take a strong amount of courage and confidence to overcome. So it's less about avoiding insecurity and less about avoiding fear, but really just to reframe it in our head and exercise the courage that we need to pull off in life what we want to pull off.
I love that you talk about reframing it because really, truly, even the more success you reach in your relationships, in your career, whatever it might be, the more insecurities you do have. And you really just have to reframe it. It doesn't mean you're going to be without the self-doubt, without the worry. You just really have to strengthen your ability to flip the switch on it.
Yeah, and it's really important in today's culture. We're sort of inundated with this message of fearlessness. Like, I'm so fearless, or don't care what anybody thinks. And the reality is that we all really do. Like, no human being, unless there's something wrong mentally, never cares what people think. That's not a healthy way to live. So the amazing thing about the part of the brain that exercises courage is that it can actually be stronger. So I wish that I could just do like a singular crunch and have like a six-pack for life, right? I wish that was the case, but it's not the case. And the brain works the same way. So the more that you can exercise this courage, it's called the subgenual anterior cingulate cortex, but it functions more like a muscle than it does an organ, in so much as you can actually allow it to become stronger by not avoiding our fears, by not avoiding our insecurities, but by actually seeing them as doors to walk through to become.
So was there something that most people have like a moment where everything shifted? Was there some moment for you when you decided like, I'm not going to live like this anymore and I'm going to live with confidence? What was that for you?
Yeah, there was. My son, I have 3 children, and my first son was 4 months old. And I got onto an elevator late at night, like midnight, and I was holding him. I'm already super insecure, first time mom, you know how that goes. And this woman leaned over to my kid and she's like, oh, mommy, I should really be in bed. Like, starts talking to my kid and not to me, like very passive aggressive, which is my favorite. No. So what we talk about in the book, chapter 2, she was shoulding on me, SHOULD. And by the end of the night, I'm like neck deep in all these shoulds that she had for me. And I'm like shoulding on myself and thinking I'm a terrible mom and a terrible person. And I should just quit everything that I'm investing myself in. And the reality is that shoulds are just simply opinions and preferences that are unique to each of us as individuals. And they're not inherently wrong or bad, but we do need to be careful to not place those shoulds and expectations on other people.
I should on myself all the time.
I know we do. And it's not a good look. Why do we do that?
No, I don't know. It's always like, well, I'm driving. Oh, I should have left earlier. I shouldn't have worn this. I should have brought that. Why didn't I think of this? And it really does just kind of bring you down.
Yeah.
How do you stop yourself?
Well, I think first and foremost by acknowledging the reality of them, by acknowledging the fact that in LA, there are trends and there are expectations and there are ways of living. They're not inherently wrong or bad, but they are what they are. And in our nation, there are these same types of social norms that we sort of coexist within. And so I think when we can educate ourselves on a global standpoint, when we can educate our children on a global standpoint, that there are so many different ways of living life and so many different ways of being successful, or even what beauty is, that we need to really educate ourselves and our children on that, so that we realize that these shoulds are everywhere. And again, not bad, but you have to decide and own for yourself and be confident in who you want to be.
Wow, it's just fantastic. And you're absolutely right. I love that perspective that, the should that we have in our head is just one of infinite options of thoughts that we can choose. And it's often, really based on the culture, the society, the group of friends that we have, whether or not we think it's something that's valuable or worth continuing to think or not. So for you then, what would a repetition or a rep be? You mentioned sort of like doing these reps and learning to reframe these thoughts and these feelings, one by one. How does a person do that? Let's say that they're experiencing some kind of insecurity. Maybe they feel like they have to be perfect or they should have left earlier that day or whatever. How do you recommend that they shift or reframe that one thought?
Yeah, that's a great question. If you can switch something, like leaving earlier, setting your timer early, there's an element of discipline that goes into these things that we want to change. But then when it comes to facing our insecurities, to name them, I think, is first and foremost. To say, why am I feeling this? What is this saying about me? And how do I appropriately respond? So asking yourself those three things, I think, is really vital to being able to determine what it is that we're actually facing ourselves with, and to be able to name it, to be able to just see it from a mile away and know that it's coming at you and I'm about to get insecure, and then to just choose. You really do simply choose. Your brain doesn't differentiate between a junior high girl on, at school sticking up for herself and a 70-year-old man running into a burning down building. Your brain doesn't differentiate between these moments of courage. It actually just knows that it's being courageous. So we all have the capability of one by one, little decision by little decision, deciding to name what it is and then appropriately respond.
Just love that.
So your husband is one of the greatest players of American baseball.
Yes, he is.
So you must be incredibly proud, but that must create a lot of expectations, especially, in society, that you're living in the public eye, you're an example. Tell us about your experience with that and the responsibility you have.
Yeah, psychologists refer to this as the false consensus effect, where we tend to believe that we all sort of coexist one way, or that we have these expectations and that you need to fit and live up to whatever this expectation is. And for me, it's just been vitally important my entire life to be sincere, to take the time that I need to take for myself, to invest back into myself, to know myself, and to really actively be willing to be who I am and to know who that is, and to be able to communicate that to the world. So while there are definitely expectations and maybe a certain perception, it's just so important for us to live in sincerity.
Absolutely love that. One of the things that you remind me of that I think helped me a lot too was just coming to a realization of how futile people-pleasing was. It wasn't making me happy, and no matter how many people I would please, I still wasn't happy because there was always one more person.
Right. Yes.
It was endless.
Yes.
And then I noticed if I pleased myself that I was all good.
Right.
Even if 99 people weren't pleased.
Yeah.
So I love you for reminding us of that.
Yeah,
lesson.
thank you. I say it all the time, but I've never met somebody that I agree with 100%. And we're such fickle people that for us to just release ourselves from thinking that everyone will always approve of us, well, then you can live in freedom. It might feel depressing for a second, but that's actually your moment of liberation and freedom to go, there's always going to be somebody that doesn't like me, so just screw it. Like, I'm just going to be me then,
Well, you're so talented, doing everything. You're up to singing, doing all this stuff, and just keeping up with. You have a huge life, so just honoring you and celebrating
she's pulling it off.
You are pulling it off.
Trying, working on it.
You got right here. It's fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Tell everyone where they can find and follow you and buy your book.
Yeah, you can follow me everywhere. Well, Instagram is my favorite. We have a beautiful community of honest and vulnerable people on my Instagram, Juliana Zobrist. And then the book is everywhere. It's Barnes & Noble and Amazon and all the bookstores. Yeah.
That's right, where all great books are sold.
Yes, yes. That's good.
Well, thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so
We
much.
encourage you to pull it off. And taking us through our next break, America's family band, the Folkos.
Stop the letter to
tonight. Woohoo! We all want to be at Friday Feels. I'm feeling it. How are you?
Oh, I've got the
Absolutely.
hashtag Friday Feels. We're so excited to welcome back to the show Focus TV family member Tammy Saffron. Thank you so much for being with us again.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
We
Woo.
miss you.
How fun here this morning.
Love having you on.
Thanks.
So-
I love being here.
There are some exciting new restaurants in town recently featured in the latest issue of Focus magazine. Tell us about them.
Well, we have 2 restaurants featured this month. The first one is Citizen in Beverly Hills, and the other is Terra, the rooftop restaurant at Italy.
Okay, so I've walked past Citizen several times,
Okay.
and it looks hot. I mean, it is a super sexy venue.
It's super, super sexy. It's beautiful inside. They have a beautiful wall that's all brick, a macrame bar, and a whole outside area with a fire pit. And they have this amazing happy hour every day from 2 to 7 and Mondays 2 to 10, where they have 7 for 7 till
Wow.
7. Yeah,
Wow.
7
2 o'clock
items
happy
for
hour.
$7 till 7. Chef Seth Greenberg cooks up amazing stuff, sirloin tacos, tuna tacos, delicious items on the menu.
Those cocktails look so good. I'll have 7
Amazing.
for 7 at 7.
And I want to
Sign me
tell
up.
you something about the cocktails. So one of the things I love is every month they do a cocktail for a cause. So you go in and you order the specialty cocktail and it benefits a charity, which is an amazing thing that they do.
Oh, I love that. That's
it's really
so
great.
special.
Yeah.
So tell us, what was your favorite cocktail and your favorite menu item?
Well, when I was there, it was Pride Month and they had this cocktail with rainbow ice cubes.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, it was really awesome. So I love
Adorable.
that. And the other restaurant is Terra. Are we-
Yeah,
Showing
yeah.
that one?
Well, I'm sure we'll have a little bit to share. So
Oh.
Terra is a restaurant on the rooftop, right?
It's on the rooftop of Italy. So as you know, Italy opened in Century City. They've redone the Century City Mall, and it's unbelievable, amazing, amazing restaurants. Italy is the Italian superstore that came here. Rooftop restaurant is Terra, which means from the earth, and they specialize in vegetables and meats that they grill there for you, and they grow their own herbs and vegetables in their garden, and they have a beautiful outdoor patio, and you can sit outside, and it's a lovely spot.
Oh, I bet it's
And this is
gorgeous.
Chef Eli Anderson, and he is phenomenal, and I highly recommend checking it out, guys.
Oh,
Oh,
I bet it's
absolutely. I could rosé all day on that.
Yes, you can rosé all day. Yes, and they actually have a specialty gin menu, and this is crazy, but there was this old olive tree growing in Century City, and it's in the middle of the restaurant. I thought they imported it from Italy. It's a beautiful olive tree that's out on the patio there.
Imported from Century City itself.
Imported from Century
We have
City.
such amazing restaurants in this town, I have to say, other than I'm sure like a New York or something like that. We have just, I mean, it is restaurant after restaurant after restaurant of the best of the best. You must have
Yeah.
a blast doing that.
The food scene in LA is just expanding rapidly, and I love the rooftops that are opening everywhere. And as you know, we have such beautiful weather here. We're so lucky. So
For a
there's
long
great-
time in LA, we were like sans rooftop, and you would think with the 365 degrees of sunshine we get that we would have so many rooftops. Now, over the past
Yeah.
couple of years,
Yeah.
EPLP, Catch. There's
yeah.
a Perch downtown.
Mm-hmm.
Now the rooftop
Terra,
the
Waldorf Astoria, exactly.
Huh.
Yeah,
so pretty.
Yeah, beautiful.
Do you have a favorite item at Terra?
Terra, well, I love all their grilled vegetables because I love vegetables, but they have these delicious skewers with grilled meats, which are fantastic. And it comes out so beautifully on skewers. The platters are gorgeous.
I love it. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for all your work at Focus Magazine and Focus TV and being part of our family. We
Yeah,
I love it.
What restaurants are you going to next?
Well, I'll give a sneak preview for the next issue. I did an interview with the Prince of Venice food truck, which is the only food truck in LA that has a homemade pasta machine on board. They have an amazing chef from Italy, and they're going to be opening a brick and mortar in Venice soon. So I hope to tell you more about that next time I'm here.
Love
Awesome.
it.
Yeah.
All
Have
the
you
food
back.
trucks.
Yeah.
It's a whole huge
Yes.
movement of food trucks, right?
Definitely.
You had me at pasta.
Well, maybe we'll bring you some bolognese next time, Jeslyn.
Well, thank you again very much. Tell everybody where they can find you and follow your foodie journey.
You can find me on LA Chefs on the Focus US website, Focus TV Network, and also just _Tammy on Instagram. And my website is actually almost ready to launch, and that will have my videos as well.
Oh,
So
We'll kick
Hope
it
to
off
see
with
you
some
there.
pasta. That's right.
And
You
a little
got it.
music. Let's do this thing, you guys.
Take it
us
away,
out.
the Focos.
Let's just say I love you in the morning, 'cause right now I can't stand to see your lips. Yesterday you told me, baby, I promised it was only just a kiss. It's too late to have a conversation. It's too late to drag this out. It's too late to tell me sorry. 'Cause honestly, that's not what it's about. I just wanna go to sleep right now and hope I wait to feel I'm feeling again somehow. I just wanna go to sleep right now. I just wanna go to sleep right now. I can't take another heartbreak. Dreams that won't come running free. Now I lay me down to sleep and pray the Lord will. I just wanna go to sleep right now and hope I wait to be in love with you again somehow. I just wanna go to sleep right now. I just wanna go to sleep right now. I just wanna go to sleep right now and hope I wait to be in love with you again somehow. I just wanna go to sleep right now. I just wanna go to sleep right now. I just wanna go to sleep right now and hope I wait to be in love with you again somehow. I just wanna go to sleep right now. I just wanna go to sleep right now.
Thank you, man. Right on.
That was America's band, the family band, the Focos. I am like speechless about you guys right now. I've seen you play live, and to have you here in the studio is such an incredible honor. You are really doing something so special. Thank you, Vanessa and Joseph, because you are just an example of what the family, the all-American family, can be, you guys.
Thank you.
That means a lot to us.
Thank you so much.
We want to know, because we think it's a miracle, like regular bands, that they can even stick together. You guys as a family want to know the one trick that you do, each of you guys, to keep it together. So we're just going to pass this around.
For me, it's hugs, it's kisses, and I think it's listening is the big thing. You have to be a listener. Because it's hard, with the computer and the cell phone and the thing and the bills and the lights and the car and you have to breathe and listen and say, okay, I get it now. I think for me, that's one of the properties.
This is your dad.
For me, I just lock them in their room so they can't go anywhere.
No, that works. By the way, I mean, they're probably under lock and key. I would imagine.
Everybody. We just keep them close by. No, really, it's really about the unit and understanding each other and communicating and talking and just loving them so much.
I hope you guys are taking notes out there.
I think it's mainly about not being afraid to argue and go through whatever issues we're having and work it out as a family and take the time to say, we're a family, we're going to argue, we're not going to agree on everything, and work past that and be able to get it out of the way.
Love that. Embracing the shadow.
I think family days, taking a little bit of time away from music every now and then and just going out to have dinner or just hang out in general, I think that really helps us all kind of stay together.
What do you guys do when you're not playing music?
Hold on.
We kind of do a lot of everything. Everybody has their own interests they do. I work out, I work on cars. Tyler does magic tricks and throws cards.
Magic tricks?
Yeah.
That's my thing, man.
There you go.
I want to see something. Let's do that.
Stevie does modeling and fashion. Everyone has their own kind of thing they do. And Joey's an MMA fighter.
I'm sorry, what?
She's like Ronda Rousey.
Yes, she is. That's incredible. And rumor has it we've got Sugarfoot over here.
Yes.
How did you get that name?
So there's a drummer named Peter Kay. His mother was a bass player, famous bass player, only played in the studio, so not a lot of people know her like by face. But she's a very famous bass player. She played in all the 60s recordings. And she's named Carol Kay. And I was playing a show one day, and he was there, and he said, "Wow, you have a really sweet foot. I'm gonna call you Sugarfoot." And then everyone just started like catching on, and everyone just called me Sugarfoot.
It's funny because you say you were playing a show one day. How old are you?
Now I'm 13, but that show I think was about 11, right? Was I 9? Yeah, wow. It was a long time, and being in the music industry, just it flies by, and we always have fun. You know, like I said, we love each other as a family, so that's how you know.
All you have accomplished, and you're only 13 years old. What's going to happen when you're 15?
Hopefully, more good things, and I'm just keep practicing.
Well, Sugarfoot, I think you have a career ahead of you.
For sure, absolutely. So now what? What's on the agenda for you guys?
Well, she's going to get in the ring, apparently. Look at total.
Maybe some fights. I don't know. No. Right now, we're actually talking to some TV networks, production companies that want to do a TV show on the family. So hopefully get that going. We just finished our album in the studio, so we're getting ready to release that. We're playing 3 to 5 nights a week, 4 hours straight, no break. So we're always going. We have a lot of fun things coming up, and we're really excited about it.
We write a lot, too. We write a lot of music. So that's a really big part of what we do as a family band. And which is great is our management rights also, which is great. So we get to like sit down and have dinner. Say, hey, I got an idea, I got a song, I got a lyric, and everybody contributes. And that's really powerful because for the longest time, like when I started, my wife, it was only one-dimensional. This is the way it goes, this is the way it has to be. And then Joey came in with some great ideas, and then Tyler throws it, and Stevie, who's a brilliant writer, and Jesse comes up with just great stuff. And then we bounce it off our management team and say, what do you think? And they're like, we love it, or we hate it, or let's massage it. And so that's really a big part of what we do as a writing.
And we've also actually had the opportunity to write with amazing names like Kathy Valentine from the Go-Go's, Jeffrey Foskett from the Beach Boys, Ron Dante, who sang Sugar Sugar. He's an amazing producer.
Mark Platt is another great guy.
We're ready for the reality show because I think most families can stand about 3 days a year with their family. So this is impressive, you guys. I mean, look, there's all types of families out there, and we honor all of the expressions of that. But something here, you guys have some magic here. We want to know what that is for sure. So we're going to look for the book. We're going to look for the reality show. We're going to look for all the albums and everything else.
I have a quick question. Okay, so you have your show, and you guys are really, really great, but you all look amazing.
Oh, I appreciate
it. And I say that as a family man, and I'm like,
appreciate that, yeah.
Fix your stuff. Okay. But you're really like, I'm looking over here at everybody going, wow, there's great looking people in this room, and you guys like really like got it together.
Because we don't have to hang out with our families, so we're just like getting ready all the all it's free time.
You should be proud of yourself. You got a great show. We're very honored to be here. Thank you.
We're honored to have you.
We're so honored to have you guys.
So I'm wondering, what were you doing before you were a family band? What was the catalyst when you guys decided, you know what, let's really do this?
I was a bodybuilding champion back in the late 70s. Yeah, I was Mr. Teenage USA in 1979. I held a whole bunch of titles. So my career was bodybuilding, but I started music in 1968. And that's all I wanted to do. So when, the age came, like age of reason, where you realize I know what I want to do, but more important, I know what I don't want to do. Music kind of came to the forefront. And I said, this is what I need to do. How was the big question. Because, there's no book on how to be a successful musician, or in front of the camera or write songs. You just do it and you fall and you get up and you keep going. And I think the big thing, like I think Joey said earlier, is not to give up. You keep your eye on a prize and a focus, and you just do that. And that has to do with your lifestyle, the words you use. If you're manifesting, good ideas in the people you work with, that's, I think, the beginning to get to that next place. And it took my wife and I a long time to get rid of negative people in our life. There's a lot of haters, and as you know, in social media, they really come out because they get to hide. See, so and we've learned to just like kind of do that.
I got a feeling her MMA skills though keep people.
Oh yeah, I definitely have a bodyguard. I gotta protect everyone.
What have you learned about each other in being part of this band?
I think we've learned mainly tolerance, learning how to work with each other. Patience. I mean, a lot of it is community skills and group skills. When, like in school, when they put you in group projects, it's a reason. It's so that you can learn to work with other people, and I think that's the main thing we've learned is how to work through the difficulties, work through the ups and downs, and still love each other and come out on the other side stronger. And I think that's the main thing we've learned from working together as a family.
What do you want your family to be known and remembered for?
I think family values. I think that's the most important thing. That's the biggest thing we preach is staying together and loving each other, and that no matter who tries to come in between you, you don't let them.
And helping the homeless is a big cause. We're behind in a big way every year. We give back to the homeless all year. So for me personally, teaching my children to give back and always give more than you get. Every Christmas morning we do drives. We go out, we give out money, and we give feminine products to the females. And for men, we do like toothpaste and shoes and socks. We buy, and we live in the Antelope Valley. We have the greatest support group. By the way, thank you, Antelope Valley, for everything you guys do, because they're getting geared up again to give more donations. So we go out and we film everything we do. So everything's above board. Everybody sees what the money we give out and the product and the socks and the coats and the hats. And my wife is a great cook also, so she'll make stuff to bring out. And,
Yes,
you know,
I love to cook, so anything I can do in the kitchen is.
Don't tell us that. We'll be there.
You're all invited. You're all invited. Absolutely.
Well, I'm so touched and moved by you guys. You truly are an inspiration on all levels, and I think that you're in great hands, great community with John Ferreter, and just knowing he said, you know, just stay in the game and just the magic happens. And I think that the how is something that we need to release to, you know, our higher self, the universe, and just keep doing what you do best. And you guys are doing that so well. Keep it up.
Thank you so much.
Do you want to take us out with this song?
Yeah.
We'll start.
Take it away.
Ooh. I want to see a dance.
One, two. Let's get the people rolling. Not knowing where we're going. Not just not on the town. Let's get the music playing. In your Chevrolet. We're gonna knock it down. So put your hands in the air. We ain't going nowhere. Everybody please, red, white, and blue. In the U.S. we're standing stronger today. With stars spangled through and through. Let's get the party kicking. Get those guitars beating. Feel the bass in your head. Everybody come listen. It's going free admission. It's some gunpowder and lead. So put your hands in the air. We ain't going nowhere. Everybody please, red, white, and blue. In the USA, we're standing stronger today. With stars spangled through and through. So sisters and brothers, bleed the same color. Apple pie with a fries, hot rod, baby. Keep it real, that's the real American, baby. Together, there's no ladies. Color us together, that's my invitation. The vibe is about American nation. Dig in, come blow it up, baby. USA, stay, love it up, oh, today. Put it down, put it down. So put your hands in the air. We ain't going nowhere. Everybody please, the red, white, and blue. In the USA, we're standing stronger today. The stars spangled through and through. So put your hands in the air. We ain't going nowhere. Everybody please, red, white, and blue. In the USA, we're standing stronger today. With stars spangled through and through. With stars spangled through and through. With stars spangled through and through.
We are Star Spangled Through and Through. Special thanks to the Folkas for being with us today. They are America's family band. And my God, like I said, hashtag family goals.
Serious.
Seriously.
Not giving up. Huh?
Not giving up.
Persistence. I just love it. Absolutely. Would you say that's a theme that has played out in each of your careers so far? Is the persistence? Yeah. Were there moments that you wanted to give up, or?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And how did you not give up? How did you stick through it all?
Stay focused.
Nice, Tandy.
Couldn't resist.
Yeah.
Good.
So good.
Yeah, priority and passion.
Right. So Friday feels. So what does it mean for you? Like, how do you express yourself? Are you going to go like on a hot date? Are you going to be with your family? What are you guys doing on this Friday feels?
For me, it's always a few hours with the family, and then obviously events, and of course some time for mommy.
Me time. I need some me time.
Mommy time.
Good.
I'm going to be reading my new book, Pulling It Off. Exactly. I'm going to put on a tutu from here all the way
That's right, 8 of them.
Yeah, channel my Juliana and release those fears and expectations. I think it's going to be a fun and fabulous weekend.
I love that. How about for you guys?
Same thing, just me time, family time, still going to some meetings from here and checking out some restaurant later.
Oh, yeah.
I would imagine people must think you're always at restaurants, right, Davey?
I'm there a lot,
You're
yes.
there a lot, yes. It's a good life.
How about you?
Well, today's my birthday.
What?
I'm 34. Thank you. I love it. I'm 34 and I love being in my 30s. It's just been fabulous. And my kids are here from Chicago. And my husband is flying in. And oh my gosh, are you kidding? That's amazing. You just have these like off stage just in case it's so. Thank you. That is really amazing. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Oh, I love them. So we're going to hang out on the beach tomorrow.
But what do you do? Like, what's your birthday family tradition? Do you have cake? Do you?
Oh, girl, nothing. I mean, I'm just like lucky to remember that it's my birthday. I'm not even kidding, and I love birthdays. But yeah, we do cake and the whole thing, and sing and just be together.
Oh, that's so special.
Well, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Celebrating
Thank you for the balloons.
today,
It's amazing.
for sure.
Maybe we can cue the focus for a little happy birthday.
Right.
Remind them my name.
Happy birthday.
Perfect.
That's awesome.
Perfect.
Thank you.
What an amazing show. Great show. Let's do this every day.
Yeah.
So much fun.
We are community powered around here. Good morning, LaLa Land, America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. You can also catch all of your favorite interviews available as a podcast on iTunes.
That's right. We're waking up the world together, getting inspired here each day as a community. Have a divine day, you guys. Please like, share, and comment.
It's going to be a good morning, LaLa Land. Take it away, Folkos.